Welcome to Emerging Civil War News. I'm Chris Mikowski, and joining me from the great state of Georgia is my friend Bob Jenkins. Bob, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, Chris. Thank you for having me. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, thank you very much. And I'm bringing you on today because you're wearing a new hat, although literally you're not wearing a hat at the moment. But you have recently assumed the reins as the executive director of the Blue and Gray Education Society. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have indeed, and I'm humbled by this privilege and opportunity. And we've been very blessed. It's an organization that was founded in 1994 by Lynn Rydell, and he ran that organization and provided did so many things over the last 3 decades. And he stepped down a year or so ago, and Wade Sokolowski, my friend up in North Carolina, has been at the helm, and Wade is still very much involved and very active, and wants to. He is going to be handling administrative operations, and I'm grateful for that because of Wade's leadership and service. So we've got a great team, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. So,
So, what will your new role with the Blue and Gray Education Society entail?
Yeah, so the vision is as we grow, and we have a national profile, and as we continue to grow our mission, our role, my role, is helping with that, with the mission, helping with membership and with vision and sustainability. So those are the efforts that I'll be working on, kind of the big picture things, and helping with those initiatives, and also we have a number of projects across the country that we help with interpretation. And we provide, some people know us because we have a van, and you may see us on a battlefield with tours. And that was the original, part of the original vision that Lynn had. We like to identify an historian, a ranger. We've been blessed to work with the late great Ed Bars and so many greats over the years at battlefield parks and state and local sites all across the country with giving tours. And we provide a different kind of tour than an overview tour of a battle or campaign, or an overview tour that's maybe a bus size. We get down in the trenches literally, and get people on ground that maybe they couldn't have access in a larger tour, larger vehicle. So our tour sizes tend to be 12 to 15, which for 3 or 4 days somebody can immerse in a subject and have somebody like a Jim Ogden out of Chickamauga, for example, or Greg Mertz from your area, neck of the woods. And I could go on and on with names, but somebody like you, sir, try to get you to help lead us on your new Spotsylvania book. But somebody that is a leading historian or scholar on that subject, that knows the lay of the land, and knows the granular battle or campaign. So that's part of what we do. But the bigger part of our mission work is we help interpret, and provide support with interpretation across the country. And that can be if there's a local or state site and they need help with an historian, we can help provide them access to find the best historian to help write those interpretive markers, and then help them with the technical support to get the actual markers printed and designed with the design team, and then get those in the ground and get the money behind it with sponsorship. So that's sort of what we do. We're working on 55 historic markers. That's been a project that Wade has been spearheading with Perryville, the Perryville battlefield. 55 markers there. We have had projects all across. We also do visual items as well, like cannons, for example, or wagons. The Raymond battlefield, General Parker Hills out of Mississippi, and I know you know from your Jackson book, in Raymond, Mississippi. But that park has 25 cannons aligned along the Raymond battlefield, just as it was in May of 1863. And that was Parker Hill's vision, and the Friends of Raymond battlefield, and the folks in Mississippi. And we wanted to help with that. And so Blue and Gray Education Society provided the funding for 17 out of those 25 guns.
Wow.
And I think three of our donors, in addition, supported privately another three. So yeah, we have our footprint all over the country, and I could go on with sites. We've done projects here in Dalton and Rocky Face Ridge, working on some other initiatives. Wises Fort, North Carolina, um, Tennessee as well. So yes, we want to be everywhere, but we want to provide the support that a local or state site or park needs, and maybe they need help with connecting with an historian that can help them with the history of their area and the marker if they need that. And many times they don't. Somebody like Eric Jacobson, obviously in the Franklin Spring Hill area, knows his stuff better than anyone. But we'll help with sponsorship and any technical support that might be needed.
I'm a big fan of the signs that you guys have at North Anna River, which is,
Yeah.
an area that needed interpretation, and the work that you guys did there was just absolutely fantastic. And you mentioned that array of artillery at Raymond, which is one of the most impressive sites you can visit in the whole Vicksburg campaign. So kudos to you guys for that.
Well, thank you. That's a jewel in the crown of Parker Hills and the Friends of Raymond and Lynn Rydell and my predecessors with BGES or Blue and Gray Education Society.
So as and you've been involved with the organization for a while, as you look forward to your new leadership role, what sort of things do you hope that you'll be able to bring to fruition? What's your vision moving forward?
Yeah, well, as you know, historic preservation is always a challenge. It's important that we may appreciate it, and our generation may appreciate it, but the next generation and the next generation, uh, what matters to them? Why do they want to remember and reflect at a place like Gettysburg or Fredericksburg or Vicksburg or any other burg across the country? And so how to reach the younger generation, and that's part of the sustainability that I mentioned earlier about how to make this organization continue to serve people across the nation and also reach a broader audience. So while we have a large presence in a lot of battlefield sites, there are people that are interested in other sites, hospitals, prison camps, a home of someone. So we have also, for example, the flags at Ford Theater. That was our baby. The flags at Ford Theater. So yeah, we want to be relevant, and we want to be able to look to the future and continue to support the rich and beautiful history and diverse history that is the United States of America.
Now, you guys have a very active newsletter, super interesting reading. If people want to get involved or they want to subscribe, how can they do that?
Yeah, if they just type in BGES, they can do a Google search and find us. We have a website there. You can sign up for a membership there, and we do have various special projects as we look to fund as some of these interpretive markers and cannons and other projects that I discussed. And then look on our website for a tour. We have about 20 to 25 tours a year, and yes, we are very aware that we're in the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding. And so we have a wide profile with a number of nationally recognized historians and scholars on the American Revolutionary War. We have a Boston tour with Rob Orison and Mark Malloy coming up this fall. And we have Gary Eckelbarger and Scott Paction leading tours. I know well know those Virginia boys your way, and leading us into Philadelphia with Michael Harris and Gary. And Gary and Scott are going to be leading he calls it Washington's final battle, which is kind of ironic because we think it's Yorktown, but his final actual fighting, I guess, was the Monmouth,
Right.
and that campaign. And we're looking to, we want to, we have an Iroquois campaign, for example. Mike Bunn led us on a tour of the War of 1812 on the Gulf Coast, which included Mobile and Pensacola, and then culminated with I can't help but hear the Johnny Horton song, the Battle of New Orleans, but it culminated there at New Orleans. So,
Uh, and I'm going to put you on the spot here for just a second.
uh-oh.
You're in one of your other hats. You're involved with the Save Dalton's Battlefield
Yes.
initiative. Lots going on there. Give us a quick little update if you don't mind.
Yeah, so yeah, I do wear a number of hats, and as president of Save the Dalton Battlefields, we have recently, in conjunction with a lot of players, and that's one of the things that with Blue and Gray Education Society, I'm looking to collaborate and work with other organizations because we're all in this together,
Yeah.
and we're all in it to preserve history and promote history. And American Battlefield Trust has a role on a national level to help save property. Emerging Civil War is bringing this to a new audience. Um, Georgia Battlefields Association is looking to preserve property here at the state level and Georgia, and then Save the Dalton Battlefields, of course, in Dalton and Whitfield County. And Dalton has more undisturbed earthworks in our county than any other county in the nation. Civil War earthworks, above ground, below ground, federal, Confederate, traverses, artillery, infantry, dug while under fire, dug by enslaved labor. We have all of it. You could literally do a study of field works in Dalton, Georgia, and so Blue and Gray Education Society has had a large role in helping us with populating some cannons. We have 3 cannons now at the Rocky Face Ridge site, 1,000-acre property. In fact, I happen to have it. Uh, Thanks for the segue. But see the blue property, that's Rocky Face Ridge, and that's Crow Valley. And that would not have been possible if it had not been for the likes of American Battlefield Trust, um, Blue and Gray Education Society, and many, many other players to get that done. And then I'll show you down here. See this property in the green square? That's the. I came on last year to talk about this project, and thank you for having me. Then we were needing to raise $677,000 to save 61 and a half acres. 61.54 acres. There's 2 Confederate artillery batteries there. There's federal and Confederate earthworks there. It saw action 4 times during the war. In February 24th, 5th, 6th of 64 during what's called the Dalton demonstration. Also in May, the second week of May. As you know, and many of our listeners may know, Dalton is the opening chapter of the Atlanta campaign or the campaign for Georgia, which I know folks in Virginia and Gettysburg may not want to hear this, but some of us out here in the Western Theater think that this may have had something to do with with how the West was won and how the war was won or lost,
The fact that
depending on your perspective.
The fact that the Western Theater is in Georgia at that point is indication of how things are going.
That's true. That's true. Something about what was Aunt Pitty Pat, Yankees in Georgia. Whoever let them in. Yes, well, there's certainly that mentality, and I grew up in Atlanta, so I certainly can understand. But my wife's a Hoosier, and by the way, go to congratulations to the Indiana Hoosier football. Whoever thought that they would have a football team, but they do, and so shout out to the IU Hoosiers out there, and and the Big Ten for doing so well in sports. I know us Southerners don't always like to hear that. Michigan and Illinois and some of the other great basketball programs this year.
Yeah. So, Bob, I want to just wish you the best of luck as you continue on with the Blue and Gray Education Society and in your new role. I know you're going to provide wonderful leadership and lots of dynamic stuff going on. Good
Well,
luck.
Chris, thank you for that, and thank you again for all you do and all Emerging Civil War does. And look forward to seeing you on the battlefield soon and continuing to help preserve and interpret uh, and protect our history for generations to come.
Thanks, Bob. I'm Chris Mikowski for Emerging Civil War News. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you online and on the battlefield.
Thank you.